Mr. Fahad Al-Raqbani, the Deputy Director General for the Abu Dhabi Council for Economic Development. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Pleasure to be here.
Now, at a time like this, at a leadership conference, of course, a lot of pressure looking at young leaders that are emerging, indeed like yourself here in this region. You've all a lot of work to do, and you don't have a lot of time to do it really. It must be quite stressful for people in your position at the moment in terms of being a leader in this environment.
You know, education comes at the heart of the development of Abu Dhabi. As you've know, in the Economic Vision 2030, the education is a major component, because in order to develop a nation, if you don't have proper education in place, you won't get the results that you aspire for. I was in the opening ceremony earlier of this leadership summit, and they gave an example of His Highness the Crown Prince Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, who said, education is a must. Education is the way that is going to take us forward. If we provide the proper education for our children and for the people within Abu Dhabi, then we can ease the access to leadership. If you don't have the right system in place, then your chances of success are much less. So what did we do in education of Abu Dhabi? 2006, we started on proposing a new system for education, all the way from the elementary phase to the higher education phase. Look at the universities that we have brought to Abu Dhabi. You know, Insead is the latest, but is not the last addition to the universities that are already in town. In addition to the Sorbonne University, to the New York University, to the local universities that have developed as well over the last years. So we need to develop, leadership capabilities. It's not just just as an idea, but because there is a lot of pressure today. When you succeed in something, the difficulty is not just, okay, I've succeeded once, but to maintain that success. This is why the need for leadership today is more than ever. Having our people or giving our people access to Insead, for example, education at Insead, or interaction with the leaders from all over the world. This is what we see here today at the leadership summit of Abu Dhabi. So this is what we're looking for. This is what we need. We need access to, or we need to learn from other examples from around the world. How were those people successful? How did those people get to where they've reached? How can they learn as well from our examples of leadership? So this is what we need to do, and this is what we're going to work for.
And of course here at Insead Knowledge, I mean, this is very much the core of what we're interested in, and indeed what all of the viewers are looking at too. But when you look at your education, how different that was, and maybe even go one step further in terms of your parents' education, how it has evolved so quickly, and really at a time you had little choice but probably to go away to get the knowledge and to get the experience that you needed, and then to bring it home. But there's a lot of changes going on here, aren't there?
As you've said, there is a lot of change that's happening. Let's not go really far away. If I go to when I was a student, which is 20 years ago, at elementary school, and I look at my son today, who is 7 and who is attending, who's in grade 2, the access or the level of information which the students have today is way advanced on what we've had access to 15 or 20 years ago. The first time I used an email was in 95 or 96. Okay, today email, my little son has an email account. So it's, there has been a dramatic change, but we must maintain, the change that's happening in the world. We must look at what's happening around the world. We must, keep this innovation going, keep this, entrepreneurship skills ongoing. How are we going to get that? By having, programs such as, the ones we're attending today, such as what is happening in the other education developments in Abu Dhabi. This is what we need to cater for. So if you want a better future, if you want leaders for the 21st century and even beyond that, you must give them access to world-class education, and this is what we are doing in Abu Dhabi today.
And of course, with that leadership comes also a huge responsibility. That's the key thing that people have to look at, and also to pass it on. And I think to encourage more people, and of course a lot of the young nationals here, to actually be involved and to realize what they're looking ahead for. I know you've been working a lot on the Abu Dhabi 2030 plan. Now it's very ambitious, it's a tremendous plan, but you're already putting a lot of the elements in place. Tell us just a little bit about how you're driving this.
You know, Abu Dhabi's Economic Vision 2030 is Abu Dhabi's diversification plan over the next 20 years. Education, healthcare, infrastructure, real estate, and other components, you know, this is what Abu Dhabi is going to do over the next 20 years. But what comes with it is, okay, if you want to develop a certain cluster, or let's talk about the ICT, for example. The idea is not just to develop it while not having the proper knowledge and proper know-how with the local talent in place over the next 20 years. So what did we do? We started educating a certain number of nationals to benefit from the opportunities within that sector when it comes on stream in the next few years. So what happens is, so you have an education component that is starting now, okay, in developing, you know, the skills and talent required for that specific cluster or that specific sector. When it's available, so you will have the people who are going to work there prepared to participate in the development of the nation. So and that's not the only sector. You have other sectors, the aerospace, the education, the healthcare, all of those sectors. You already have people, you know, studying, whether in the UAE or abroad, to be able to work on those certain sectors when they are ready.
So this has been very strategic in your part. This is not just a random development. So in a way, part of that plan is actually the strategic placement of talent for the future, really.
Absolutely. Developing talent is a very important component of our success story. Look at the leaders in Abu Dhabi today. You've got a lot of young talent, but that have learned, you know, or that have been nurtured in this country over the past years. So the important thing is you must have talent. Talent has no nationality today. You know, you will be surprised to see UAE people today as faculty professors around the world, as doctors, as engineers, as you know, we are very proud of what we have been able to deliver over the last 38 years. It took nations, you know, many years to reach where they've reached today, but the pressure on us is much larger because we've reached it in such a short time, and we have to maintain that level of success that we have achieved so far. And this is what we will do. We will work as hard as we can to be able to, but to maintain the success story that has been built by the late Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al-Nahyan, God bless his soul, and the continuation of the leadership and the wise innovation and strategic thinking of the current leadership of the UAE. We will work hard to maintain that success for the UAE and for the whole region.
When you think of innovation, what's the first thing that comes to mind in terms of where does it come from, how do you implement it, and how do you drive it?
You know, innovation, there are many ways to think of innovation. Your little kid, you know, could inspire you with ideas that you haven't been inspired with, that you have never thought of. A young employee at your organization could inspire you with an idea that also you have never thought of. So it's by encouraging people, by learning from what is happening around you, by looking at the students as well within universities, because the bright minds, you must have the infrastructure, or what we call infrastructure, for them available to be able to nurture them and to get the best out of them.
Now, do you think there's more of an openness in the society, particularly in terms of leadership, being able to embrace, you know, what's going on and what has to be put in place, you know, for the success of this country?
I will not say more than look at how many nationals today in the UAE are at leadership positions and holding key positions within important organizations. It's not just because they're nationals, but it's because they have the right skills and the right knowledge to hold these positions. I remember 10 years ago when I joined an organization, we were just a few people. You know? When we used to negotiate with other organizations and companies, you used to have, you know, a few nationals and many expats with them to negotiate those deals and business opportunities with. Today when we go negotiate, we have a room full of nationals negotiating with world-class companies and countries, and this makes us very proud today in how we've developed those nationals to be able to do these jobs, which they were not able to do in the past, but today we're really very proud of them.
So when you look ahead to the future, what do you think are the big challenges you really must grasp and deal with? And what are the big hopes?
I mean, the biggest challenge is what we're doing today, is providing the best education to the people. You educate your child in the proper way is the biggest gift you can ever give to your child. And this is what the leadership has focused on. Provide education, not just any education, but give them the right skills and knowledge that suits the UAE and that fits with our culture, with our needs, and with our requirements. This is what we're doing today. Look at Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed's program. You have students today studying all over the world. You've got students studying in Japan, I believe in China, in Germany, in the UK, in the US. So what are we basically trying to do is giving the best that we can give them, because those people, when they are properly educated, when they come back, it's a big asset for the country.
Well, for Insead Knowledge, thanks so much for taking the time, and good luck. You have a big program ahead of you, and we wish you the best of luck. Mr. Al-Raqbani, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.